Good afternoon, good evening, everybody, wherever you're tuning in from. It's Rod with Powell Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ Stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Going to get started with the video here and today's content in just a moment. We'll give it another few minutes for people to join us. Hope you're doing well today, and just sit tight. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Always love hearing from you, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. See, we have quite a few people joining. Welcome, welcome. Great day in the market, you bet. We made it, absolutely. We won't celebrate just yet, but pretty much any time now we can start celebrating. I mean, I highly doubt HEXO is going to close below $1 today, with today being the 10th day. But today's Thursday, it's January 12th, 2023. Happy New Year once again. Hope you're well. Just got back from Florida, and I had a great vacation, some nice R&R with my family. Met a couple friends in Orlando as well, and it was nice to see some friends and connect with my family. I hadn't seen them in a couple months, so gonna get started with today's live stream. Obviously, HEXO, today is the day to regain Nasdaq compliance with the minimum bid price rule, and we're currently targeting $1.42 USD on HEXO, confirming the daily uptrend today and also the daily Bullflag. So before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. You can subscribe, tick the bell, you'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. So as I mentioned, just got back from Florida. I went to a meetup there as well from Sunburn Cannabis. That was pretty sweet. I did a video on that. Maybe I'll post a little bit more videos, but also got my HEXO themed hat on today. We've got Molo, we've got HEXO, we've got XMG, and showed it to Grant for the hat, but you even got Power Rod on the side. One of the Powell Group private members sent that to me, so super dope hat, love it. Yeah, today's been a great day in the market. Obviously, I think everybody's in a lot better spirits today. You had so many people just biting their fingernails, wondering if HEXO was going to get delisted, and I said that pretty much, in my opinion, that was a 99% chance that they were going to regain compliance just organically. Or we knew that they had the approval for the reverse split. So I said it was less than a 1% chance that we got delisted. And here we are today, smooth sailing. So we'll jump into today's content. Again, if you're just joining us, make sure to smash like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. And we're going to be just basically just watching the market close here today and watch HEXO close. Don't got anything too extravagant planned here today, but I did want to come on, and we've got 13 minutes left in the day, and we are currently sitting at $1.26 on HEXO USD. Also want to bring up a couple things here while we wait for the market to close. Like I said, we have quite a few people here with us tuning in as we watch this HEXO close today and regain Nasdaq compliance. Like I said, confirming a daily uptrend and Bullflag with a target of $1.42. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us. Wonder why HEXO was flying so high today. If you took a look at Tilray's post today, Tilray posted this new Soleil Slims, and that's Redecan HEXO Tech. So what did HEXO say it's going to do? It's going to start white labeling for MSOs. Well, now where they're doing it for LPs, right? Through the strategic alliance with Tilray, that is Redecan pre-roll tech, right? And like SSL said, Sebastian St. Louis, he said that pre-roll tech alone is worth $1 billion. And then everybody and their dog saying, oh, I can't believe HEXO paid $1 billion for all of Redecan. Just that pre-roll technology alone is probably worth $1 billion. And it's very evident with Tilray using, look at it, it's the exact same, 100% the same. And they already said they're going to be doing that for white labeling for MSOs, so multi-state operators in the US. So imagine when they start selling it to retailers and they white label it under, Planet 13, but it's actual Redecan bud and their technology, but they sell it, a pretty decent margin wholesale, and then retail sells it again under their own brand. We also had the 5 new strains, so 36.1%. THC, good luck small craft growers with the new Yoda strain. Just kidding, it's called Animal Runs. But that's just one of 5 new strains. So get ready. Like I said, Molson Coors didn't make the best beer, right, initially, but they made the most money. And then they went on to acquire and create all of these different craft brands and, all those different sub-brands of their hierarchy, right? So we're going to see the same thing. But just as we go through, I stopped at Fuego Smoke Shop, so I was able to buy some products in in Florida. These are Delta 8, so derived from hemp. So as part of the new farm bill, these are pretty much the only thing that, for recreational that anybody can buy without a medical card. It's about $75 US to get your medical card, and it's only good for like 7 months or something like that. So I was like, well, screw that. I'm only going to be here for a week. So plus I had a friend that had a medical card, and he was able to hook me up with some real stuff. Won't be delisted. Yep, you bet. But yeah, these are pretty cool. These drinks. So this is Delta 8. And get some hemp cigarettes. Those are different. Like, they don't actually taste like tobacco like the Tat ones. They're just CBD. Those are pretty cool. And then these drinks, these drinks definitely work. So if you're in Florida and you're looking for a way to get a buzz and legally, you can go to the Fuego Smoke Shop and you can buy those and drink 1 or 2 of those, and you'll be feeling pretty good. It's 50 milligrams in each one. And then these ones are Delta 8 with live resin. So haven't tried those yet, but looking forward to that. What else? Hit Superhost again for the second time on Airbnb while I was away. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of that. But yeah, that's why HEXO is probably up, is because of this, and because of the fact that it's going to regain Nasdaq compliance, with today being the 10th day. So we'll jump more into more HEXO stuff, but again, just giving everybody a little bit of fluff and update on my week. So I got delayed, but checked out the lounge. If you're ever delayed here in Canada, I think it's the Plaza Lounge. That one's really cool. It's pretty cheap too. If you go to any restaurant and spend money on food and a couple drinks, you're probably going to be spending. Well, not nearly as much as this, but not too far off. So if you got a few hours to kill, that might be a better alternative. But night out with Mama and Papa. Here was the Sunburn Cannabis Meetup. They had live music. They had a pool table and everything set up inside. And you could actually buy stuff as well. Just the new grand opening. That was actually a MedMen location before. And Sunburn Cannabis bought that over. And I think they even bought some of their operations as well. So some of their cultivation facilities. But they have some really, really good stuff. Pricing was a little high. No pun intended. But also did a first helicopter ride. So my father and I went on a helicopter ride yesterday while we were on our way to the airport. Said, why not go on a helicopter ride? So, but yeah, that's pretty much my update from the trip. But yeah, in regards to why is HEXO up today, that was actually one of the tags I put in my video today, because I knew a lot of people would have that question. I think it has to do with Tilray having these new Soleil Slims, and that's Redecan/HEXO technology, which Sebastian St. Louis said alone was worth $1 billion. And then also the new strains, and the fact that we are sitting at 126 here with 8 minutes left in the day. So the idea of this video is just come on, hang out with you guys and gals and just watch the market close, because today is obviously a day to celebrate. And there's been no shortage of doom and gloom for the last, however many months or years. But yeah, zero doubt here. I've been adding dollar cost averaging. Got my coffee, got in late last night, didn't get in until after midnight, and then got home and unpacked and everything. So pretty slow day today. So got the coffee on full force. But like I said, thanks everybody for joining us on the live stream today, and congrats to all of the people who stuck through it. Definitely scary times. If you look back, we'll bring up the screen sharing here. So if we look back after that massive drop, right, when we had the split occurred, and then we dropped another 42%, right? This is just the everybody tapping out, right? And then we had those 2 days close below $1 at 90 cents. Actually, we had 3. We had closed at 92, 90, 90, 98. So 5 days actually. Okay, so yeah, it was 92, 90, 90. Sorry, no, that was the low of the day. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Sorry. So yeah, 92, 90, 90, 98. No, I did it again. My bad. Need more coffee. One sec. All right, third time's a charm. Close. So we closed at 93, 92, and then yeah, so I was right. Only 2 days below $1. So those 2 days were pretty doom and gloom, right? A lot of people were probably on the edge of their seat, thinking that this is the end. But we've been there before, right? We've all been there before. You guys know what I'm talking about. We had HEXO going bankrupt, and HEXO getting delisted, and HEXO's garbage weed or whatever, and now they're coming out with these new strains, right? And what I've said for forever now is wait until HEXO gets into craft growing. And like I said, HEXO is the Molson Coors. So they started off getting their cultivation and creating, Coors Light or whatever. And now they're starting to get into the more primo stuff. But like I said, no shortage of scare tactics out there, and definitely a pretty shady move by the market makers, because then we went on to see a massive move. And if I bring up the Powell Group private community here, just going back, I did a video as well, if you recall, I think it was a week ago. 6 days ago. So HEXO closes at 118 USD. Target is 125 USD. 5 more days again. And I said target was 125. That was a 4-hour inverse head and shoulders that we were looking at for that target. And here we are. We're hitting 127, which was 125, which was the target, right? So the target doesn't have to hit tomorrow, the next day, the next week. We don't really know exactly. If you're looking at the 4-hour time frame, though, one would think at least a few days, right? If it was the daily time frame when we had an inverse head and shoulders, that bullish reversal pattern, it might be a couple weeks, right? Or a few weeks. But in this instance, it was the 4-hour time frame with the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then targeting 125, and then we hit that target. And like I said, because it's on the 4-hour time frame, it's usually a matter of days or a week or two, versus a daily inverse head and shoulders, that might be a few weeks, right? And if it's a weekly inverse head and shoulders, that might be a few months before we see the target met, right? So now that has happened, we zoomed out to the daily time frame. And what I've been saying to Powell Group private community here in the MJ channel, I'm just going to go through some of this here, because this has been a very, here it is. For 4-hour HEXO, this was from 12/24, Wednesday, January 4th. HEXO looking to confirm 4-hour uptrend and inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern. IHS, the inverse head and shoulders target, also lines up with the 4-hour EMA 26 at $1.24 USD. And then we hit that. I also bought more HEXO, Tilray, and MSOS in my TFSA. Used half my contribution room for 2023 in case we dip more. So again, for those in Canada, you get an extra $6,500 in your TFSA. If you're like me, I maxed it out every year, and I've used about 60% of that now. And then I said, let it be a reminder, if you invested more than 10% of your net worth into MJ, you're likely doing it wrong. You don't need to invest hundreds of thousands into MJ to be wealthy, i.e. if you were down over 100K and you don't have $1 million, then you likely broke the golden rule. I am down about 50K in my whole MJ portfolio, which is less than 10% of my current net worth. Everyone's different, I get that, but never forget the golden rule. I learned today someone took their life after being down 120K on one MJ stock. That was HEXO, actually. It's evident they broke the golden rule. I know someone who's down 250K on Tilray. My friend's dad is down over $1 million on T-God investment. What's the moral of the story? Don't forget the golden rule, right? Then we have this new trust adding the largest product line in MJ infused beverages with Fire and Ice limited release. Drove by the Cure Leaf dispensary there. So came out with that video. I said HEXO is a potential 15-minute bull flag, 112 USD. Needs to break 118 to confirm. If confirmed, the measure move is 129. Here we are hitting 129. So more confluence that we were seeing, more upside. And I said HEXO creating a lot of space now for a daily higher low for once we start daily consolidation. All about Thursday now to regain Nasdaq compliance. I said still no daily uptrend, so it would be nice to get our daily higher low and higher high and build momentum and confirm the daily uptrend leading into Thursday. And we also had tailwinds from the broader market with the S&P 500 and crypto seeing a recovery here as well. And we got 2 minutes left, so let the countdown begin. So good luck, small craft growers. HEXO double bottom at the low of yesterday, lose 109, and we start daily consolidation. And I said I had a gut feeling. Forget where it was, but I said I think I have a gut feeling that we're going to start daily consolidation the next day. We did, and then that gave us our higher low and higher high. I said HEXO needs to break 119 USD to confirm the daily uptrend. SPY looking for a daily higher high as well, as we could, and it could come at a good time. And yeah, just remember that Tilray is mostly an alcohol business, and that is why I do not support it as much. Everybody always says, why do you like HEXO so much? Well, they're 100% MJ play. 100% of the revenue comes from MJ. I hold Tilray, full disclosure, but it's evident that they are an alcohol business. And I even posted some posts. I got the extra pale ale 420 from the Sweetwater Brewing Company. I got their beer when I was in Florida. That was really good. Let me know in the comments if you like that. If you've tried it, it's really good. I said my hard-earned dollars will support Cannabis, the medicine of the future. I'm mostly interested in pure MJ plays like HEXO. 100% comes from MJ. On the revenues, I own Tilray, but only as a sector hedge. HEXO's potential daily Bullflag targeting 190 Canadian also lines up with daily EMA 12 at 196. So again, more confluence that we were going to see the daily uptrend and daily Bullflag, and more upside. I said 10 more minutes. 142 USD is the target if Bullflag confirms. And sure enough, today, HEXO confirming daily uptrend and Bullflag. Akerna sells assets for less than it paid. Yeah, pretty common trend in the crypto space, or sorry, in the MJ space. But here we are, less than a minute left, and we're sitting at 127. And we're targeting 142, which is also lining up there with EMA 26. And we're closing at the high of the day. Wouldn't be surprised if we even gapped up tomorrow with all of this. So here we are, 128. Just hit 128. Congrats, everybody. If you're still with us, I see we have a few dozen people with us. So yeah, a round of applause for everybody who stuck to it. You know, all the believers out there, not listening to all the trolls. There's no trolls. Haven't heard anything from the trolls today. They're probably under a bridge somewhere, just, you know, eating cottage cheese. Trying to get their shoes tied, Velcro shoes. See if anybody can catch that that reference. A little bit of an inside joke there. Yeah, so once again, round of applause for all of you. Give yourself a pat in the back. And yeah, we had the low, high, higher low, and higher high. And as long as we held 107 USD, it was a daily bull flag and a potential daily uptrend. And here we are. Just regained Nasdaq compliance. How you like them apples? Jump into the chat here. Won't be delisted yet, you bet. $10 minutes until confirmation. Yep. Well, we got our confirmation. And we'll close at 99 cents tomorrow. Yeah, don't be surprised if we do see more downside, but key support is going to be 107. If we lose 107, then we lose the daily uptrend. That would be a little concerning, but the first and foremost, we got the Nasdaq regain compliance out of the way. But like I said, we did close at the high of the day, and we are still targeting 142. Again, targets don't mean that it has to happen right in the specific time frame. And because this is on the daily time frame, it could take a few days or a few weeks, like I mentioned earlier, right? But ultimately, we're targeting 142. We closed at the high of the day. This is looking good. Like I said, doing that white labeling for Tilray's new Soleil Slims. And we also had the 5 new strains, going to destroy craft, right? Like Canara, for example. I like Canara. They just announced a 10-for-1 reverse split today. So it's not just even the companies that are doing great financially, right? People just don't understand how the market works or how the sector works. Canara is profitable. They're posting great numbers, but they just did a 10-for-1 reverse split as well because it's a common theme in the industry, and that'll put them at around $1. And then maybe they're going to look to uplist to the Nasdaq or something like that, or the NYSE. That could be something as well. But they can't even keep stock in Quebec and, you know, their hometown, or in Ontario, and they're not even available here in Alberta yet. HEXO's available all across Canada, and it's got operations built for Germany through Tilray partnership, and it's got operations in the US as well, and networks already built for that once they're ready to do, once we get the regulatory clarity, right? And yeah, just good luck, small craft growers. That being said, I do own Canara, but it's a lot less of my portfolio, just like Tilray. I like Canara probably more than I do Tilray, because like I said, Tilray is an alcohol business. Who wants to support alcohol? There's a reason why big alcohol and tobacco companies are getting into the space, is because they have the most to lose. Tilray's probably doing the alcohol business because they can eventually add THC or CBD into those brands, those beverages in the US, and maybe infused, spirits and things like that. But I don't know. It's like same with SNDL. I just don't support them because they're a retailer, mostly an alcohol retailer, and alcohol is poison, and tobacco is poison, and cannabis is medicine. So I'd rather support the medicine of the future and the companies who are 100% focused on the medicine of the future versus poison, right? So that's just me. Everybody needs to make their own decision, but I do own a little bit of Tilray, full disclosure, as a sector hedge, right? But yeah, I doubt we would drop below $1 tomorrow on HEXO. Like I said, key support's going to be 107. So if we lose that, we lose the daily uptrend. But like I said, most important thing was getting that 10-day compliance and getting over $1 10 days in a row. And we started it here on Thursday the 29th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. 10 days in a row. And then off the low there, it's a 43% move. So that's why I was adding heavily and saving. That's why I wasn't adding HEXO too much, because I was waiting for my TFSA contribution room as well for 20 tax loss harvesting getting out of the way. And then once my TFSA contribution limit hit, I bought a lot of HEXO in that. And I added quite a bit below, got quite a bit of shares below $1. And here it is up over 40%. Let's go, you bet. It's funny that this news is coming out today on the day that HEXO is regaining compliance. Yeah. Well, that's just how the market is played, right? I think there's going to be a lot of good information coming soon. We remember we still have the Tyson or T 2.0 or whatever they rebranded it as well, so that's potentially going to hit shelves soon. Not to ruffle any feathers, but CPG Partner was apparently on hold. All non-core projects were on hold. That doesn't mean that it fell through, right? Maybe it did. Who knows? I'll gladly make the video if I'm wrong, but I don't think it did. I think they're just waiting for the sector to reverse, get this delisting FUD out of the way, bankruptcy FUD out of the way. Then when HEXO turns a profit, which I think they could hit positive adjusted EBITDA over the next 1 to 2 quarters, maybe 3. But then ultimately over the next 3 to 4 quarters, I think they're going to hit, they're going to be positive, cash flow positive from operations. So we should see EPS positive. And then that'll be when the stock absolutely erupts, in my opinion. Then we'll probably see just, bullish news after bullish news after bullish news, right? It's just what happens. Look at what happened with Tesla. All the analysts saying, not worth owning. They make less cars in a year than Toyota makes in a month. They'll never be profitable, blah, blah, blah. And then once they hit profitable, it was off to the races. And then everybody and their dog and, on planet Earth wanted Tesla, right? So same thing's going to happen with HEXO. Not saying it's going to be the next Tesla. Man, I get really frustrated when people say that when you compare something. It's like, we're not comparing electric vehicle to MJ. We're not comparing, I said CocaCola, comparing CocaCola to MJ. And they said something about a commodity. And I'm like, are you telling me that a commodity, you can't sell a commodity and have a super wealthy business? Because Coca-Cola sells commodities. They sell sugar and water, right? So, and they're a $250 billion company. So what do you think is going to be more valuable? Sugar, which is more addictive than cocaine and terrible for you, or medicine of the future, which also has a recreational aspect of it as well? It's going to be one of the, Tilray said, CEO said it's going to be a $100 billion industry easily, right? So why do I, if I know that that's the growth that we're going to see, why do I want to focus on companies that are focusing on alcohol as well? Because alcohol is going to go down, right? Unless they find a way to use those brands to add other stuff to it, but I just don't see how that makes any sense to me. I'd rather just pure MJ plays, right? Like Organigram, HEXO, love Organigram, love HEXO. CGC, I think, is great as well. They're getting into the retail business, which HEXO already told us long ago that was a bad idea, right? They had fire and flour on their long-term investments on their balance sheet because SSL, Sebastian St. Louis, and HEXO figured that was the complete wrong way to go about it. And then sure enough, lo and behold, Tokyo Smoke and Tweed stores are being shut down. So just truly a visionary in the space, HEXO. And if I can only own one MJ company, it'd definitely be HEXO. High Tide, I've been adding that one as well. See, where did I leave off here? They're a CPG company that is involved in MJ, alcohol, and wellness. Yeah, exactly. So they have a distribution business, they have a wellness business, MJ business, and alcohol business. They also have that FSD Pharma, right? Like, I don't know. Like I said, I like Tilray. It's just I can't support alcohol. Like I can't put my heart in, because like I said, is the growth really going to be there? I'd rather be in a company like Organigram or HEXO that is 100% of the revenues. If we're going to see a $100 billion or $200 billion industry, I think the ones who are going to reap the rewards the most are the ones who are focused on that industry specifically, and it's going to be the producers, right? Like the Budweisers and the Molson Coors of the world, right? There's tons of people that sell Molson Coors in retail, right? But the ones who make the most money are the producers, the manufacturers. But yeah, a lot of MJ companies are going to be CPG companies. And like Boris Johnson said, Curaleaf CEO, which I hold that stock as well, MJ is going to be big dividend paying companies. They already said that if Curaleaf wasn't under 280E tax code, which they paid already like $330 billion to the US government. So that'd be an extra over $500 billion on their balance sheet that they would have been able to retain, and they would already be paying a dividend. So, and he said that he believes that HEXO, or not HEXO, but MJ and Curaleaf, potentially HEXO, are all going to be massive dividend paying companies. And I would agree. They're going to, eventually once 280E goes away and full-blown legalization in the US, they're going to be swimming in so much money they're not going to want to do with it. They're going to be like, you know what, here you go, investors, dividend, right? So early, it's not even funny. Close at 129. Yep, looking good. Whoop, whoop. Whoop. Yeah, buddy. Average of 441 after the split. Still confident. Buyers at these prices don't even know how lucky they are. Yeah, I would agree. Once in a lifetime opportunity for sure. I saw OGI jumped first today. I think they posted earnings today. What did you think? It was a beat? Do you know if it was a beat? No, I think it was down. It declined sequentially. Just bring it up here. Yeah, it's been a busy day. Maybe I'll look and do a deep dive in that a little bit later. HEXO's just kind of been stealing the show lately with all the attention, obviously, retail investor attention. OGI, I'm really bullish on them, though. It's probably my top 3 biggest MJ holding in Canada, or in general, actually. Yeah, it goes HEXO, Tilray, then OGI, then CGC, I think. It's my biggest holdings. No, they missed on revenue estimates. So they beat on EPS, so they positive EPS. So that's great to see. This is what, like they said, David George Koch and BNN Bloomberg, the days, and even CEOs of LPs, licensed producers here in Canada, have been saying the days of unprofitable LPs are numbered. And we saw Tilray had positive EPS, and now OGI, right? Next, I think, is going to be HEXO. And then, yeah, they missed on their revenue. So they were expecting, analysts were expecting 44.05 million. It came in at 43.32 million. And EPS was negative 0.018 forecast, and it came in positive 0.015. So a little bit of a mixed bag there. But, yeah, even with OGI posting positive EPS, it's up 8%, HEXO up 13%. Which a lot of people just scratching their head today, wonder what's going on. It's called market manipulation at its finest. But yeah, obviously good for the space as well. And I think, like I said I wasn't too worried about the earnings from like individual MJ companies. If you've been tuning in for a while now on this channel, I've been saying for many, many months that I do not care about an individual earnings report. I'll look at them and stuff like that, but until the sector reverses, now we're starting to see the sector reverse. Once we have monthly uptrends across the sector, then individual earnings reports are going to matter more, right? So over the next couple quarters, I think we're going to start to really see individual earning reports have a lot more weight behind them. But the wild card right now for me is the broader market, right? What if the S&P 500 has, a 1929 Great Depression types of pullback, which could bring us down to the low threes, low twos, just below 300 on the S&P 500 on SPY. So, if there was any sector that was going to outperform and go the other way, though, it would be MJ, in my opinion. And I've seen no shortage of media and mainstream media outlets, legacy media, saying it's going to be at least 3 to 5 years before the U.S. legalizes. And when they start singing the same tune, that starts to tell me like, maybe it's going to happen a lot quicker than we think, right? Because now people, you got to remember too that prices are at all-time lows and 52-week lows, or setting new all-time lows across the whole MJ sector. So it'd be way different if prices were at all-time highs or 52-week highs, and they were saying it's going to be 3 to 5 years before it gets legalized. But funny how it is that they're saying it's going to be 3 to 5 years when prices are at rock bottom prices, trying to get you to sell. They're like, it's going to be 3 to 5 years. Screw this. And then watch 2023, something will happen, whether it be medical gets legalized, whether it be descheduling, whether it be uplisting, whether it be safe banking, some sort of reform. It's going to catch people off guard. It's more than likely going to be we wake up one day and Biden's just going to say, oh yeah, I spoke with HHS and DOJ and DEA and everybody else, that they need to speak with. And one day you're just going to wake up and, medical MJ is now legal. Or we rescheduled it or we descheduled it or safe banking got passed or something like that. You never know. So I really don't care. I'm prepared to wait 3 to 5 years. I don't care. I'm just going to continue to accumulate these rock bottom prices. And I don't need the money that I put into MJ. Like I said, when it goes back to that post that I did earlier in the MJ space or in the MJ Power Group private community, I said, if you invested more than 10% of your net worth into MJ, you're more than likely doing it wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to bring it up again. So yeah, if you're down $100,000 and you don't have a net worth of $1 million, you probably broke the golden rule, right? There were some cryptos. There's just like some cryptos in March 2020. You put $1,000 into Dogecoin or $1,000 into Cardano, a year and a half to 2 years later, it'd be worth about $500,000 with a $1,000 investment. So, and those prices were down 99% from all-time highs, if not more. So HEXO's down 99% from all-time highs. Tilray's down 99% from all-time highs. CDC's down like 96%, right? So a few $1,000 investments here and there. You don't need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to become wealthy, right? And like I said, I've never invested any more money than I'm willing to lose. All of my MJ portfolio could go to zero and I wouldn't care, right? Because it's less than 10%. But yeah, 129, HEXO, up 15%. Closed at the high of the day. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a gap up tomorrow. 142 daily Bullflag target. I already did that one. I don't understand the high tide chart. It's been in the same range for a while, even today when everything went up. Yeah, so it's just, that's one of the names that hasn't been hit the hardest. Like I said, there's so many opportunities in the large caps and the producers that it's like a bargain, right? It's like you go into a shop, right? You go into a store and there's a clearance section or a bargain section. Well, you're not going to go up. You're probably going to go after the big name brands that are really discounted, right? Not the mediocre brands that are okay discounted, right? So it's kind of an analogy that I would look at it that way. Plus, we have catalysts for HEXO, right? HEXO could potentially gap up and see 142 off the lows. That's about a 60% move off the lows there of that low at 90 cents. So high tide, there's no way high tide would jump 60% in that same time. High tide's only up 13% on that same time frame, right? So obviously when there's catalysts and motivation and things like that, that's why I think it's struggling. But if we go to the high tide chart, I know I don't have it up here on my screen, but if you go to the high of February 2021, it's only down 89%. Some names like HEXO, Tilray down 96, 99% from February 2021 highs, right? So it's not as good of a bargain in my opinion. And that's evident that, high tide's only been up 13, 15% over the same time frame that HEXO bottomed and is now up could potentially see 60% of upside. So yeah, it just comes to traders and things like that, right? People who see that catalyst and that potential for upside, right? CocaCola went from $15 to $1.75 in 1974 and is now at $487. Yeah, and they're selling sugar and water. That commodity is nowhere near as good as our commodity, which is MJ, medicine of the future, and it has a recreational aspect as well. So yeah, watch what happens over the next 10, 15, 20 years. HEXO has already said they want to be the Coca-Cola of the MJ industry, which if you take a look at their beverages and everything else, certainly looking like they have a very good shot at it. We know that Molson Coors has partnered with Coca-Cola already for the Topo Chico Hard Seltzer, which my friend had it in Florida in his fridge, and also the Simply Spiked lemonade beverages. So Coca-Cola and Molson Coors are partnered on 2 alcohol beverages, and Coca-Cola has been adding coffee to their beverages as well. It's probably just a matter of time before they add some sort of hemp or MJ into it, right? Pretty sure people were mad AF in 1974 too. Yeah, exactly. And then Amazon dropped 95% after the .com boom. And then again, I know people are going to be like, whoa, why are you comparing MJ to Apple and Amazon? It's like, no, you dunce. I'm not comparing the industries. I'm comparing the percentage move drawdown and the psychological struggle that we would have went through the exact same thing. And it happens to all the great companies. It happens to all the new sectors and emerging markets and burgeoning industries, right? It's going to happen again. This won't be the last time. So my point by saying that is to Get used to it. It's happened before. It's happened with the big tech. It's happened with, like you say, CocaCola. It's happened with every company that goes on to create life-changing wealth, and it's going to happen again. So if you're like, wow, I can't believe it's down 99%, well, get it through your freaking thick skull. It's going to happen again, whether it be in the same stock, same sector, or another sector. It's going to happen again. You just need to have the wherewithal to recognize it and to sell where we're nearing a top and buy near a bottom, and knowing that when you buy near a bottom, there's a pretty good chance you're not buying the absolute bottom, right? Because you don't have a crystal ball. So, but yeah, Amazon down 95% in a couple years from the dot-com bubble burst to the low, and they weren't selling Schedule 1 federally illegal drugs in the US. So why were they down 95%? And what they were selling was legal, right? They were selling books. And, and then people are surprised that MJ's down 95%. Well, it's still illegal in the US. Like, if there was any kind of manipulation to be done, it'd be with MJ, the one that's illegal federally, right? Like, it's a drug, right? It's on the same category as heroin, right? And like, I just don't understand it. I'm not saying HEXO is going to have the market cap of Amazon. I'm saying the percentage drawdowns were the same, and the percentage of upside could be the same. Not saying the market caps are going to be the same. Those are two very different things, right? Those, anyway, I digress. But if you want to know the next Amazon in terms of market cap, check out Ripple, not XRP, the decentralized cryptocurrency. Oh, that one there. Ripple, the private company that you can buy if you're an accredited investor. If you have a net worth of $1 million or you make a household income of over $250,000 for the last 2 or 3 years, I think it is, you'll be accredited. You can buy Ripple private equity, and they'll probably do an IPO. That company is essentially could be the next Amazon. I think could be more valuable than Amazon in terms of market cap. In terms of percentage moves, MJ is going to give a lot of those moves, potential moves. But like Tilray said, CEO said maybe $100 billion industry. Well, Amazon lost $1 trillion in market cap over this bear market over the last year. The first company to ever do that. So if the whole MJ industry is going to be $100 billion, HEXO would need 100% of that to have 100 billion, and that'd still be nowhere near the valuation of Amazon. So for all you Amazon, YouTube police out there, whenever I say that, give your head a shake and realize that you're not speaking the same language as me. We're talking apples to oranges, no pun intended. Apple, we're talking about the percentage moves and the opportunity and the percentage drawbacks versus the percentage of upside versus downside, and the potential there for percentage-wise gains, right? Safe Banking Act, new. So yeah, we have new Congress now, so we'll see what sort of motivation and effort they do with regards to safe banking. To be honest, if I were to say anything, it would just be a complete guess. I think that Biden's probably going to be the one to get something done first. Maybe a rescheduling. Maybe they legalize medical first. But realistically, I don't care. I know what I own. I know it's the medicine of the future. It also has a recreational standpoint as well, which is way healthier than alcohol and tobacco. And recreationally, it's a great alternative to alcohol, and it's medicine. People who have epilepsy or all these kind of seizures or cancer. I did a video of a friend of mine was diagnosed with cancer on New Year's Eve, and they weren't sure how the severity of it. They're still kind of figuring that out, but he was never anybody who would ever consume alcohol, tobacco, and he never consumed MJ in his life and never would. And now he's like, where do I get it? I need it yesterday, right? So this is the difference, guys and gals. Like, know what you hold, know the industry. Don't listen to mainstream media. Don't listen to the delinquents that are out there on social medias and chat forums who don't know, their what from their what. It's laughable, right? It's the writing's on the wall. It could not be more clearer to me. And I do not care what happens this year, what happens next year. Guess what? I'm going to be here next year. I'm going to be here in 3 years. I'm going to be here in 5 years. And the next time MJ runs and hits a new bull market and hits all-time highs, I'll be here saying, I told you so, right? No, I won't be here. I'm more humble than that. But I'll be here making video, making content, saying, hey, guess what? It's going to drop again, maybe 80 to 90%, right? Don't get too greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. And just learn the game, right? It's a nasty game. We can't beat them, so you got to join them, right? I hope you'll interview the guy from MJ Investing Newsletter on YouTube. John says, not only was he saying HEXO is a bad investment, he was also saying that Tesla is just a car company and not to invest. Well, yeah. I never, I'll start by saying I already talked to him. I forget his name. Anyway, forget his name. It's like a different name. MJ Investing newsletter. He's been doing great work. He's just a lot different than me. He looks at fundamentals, but personally, I don't really think that that's like value investing. How can you do that when it's not even legal in the U.S. yet? And then, like, imagine if you were value investing Amazon. Well, guess what? Warren Buffett missed Amazon, right? All these gurus who are value investing experts, they missed Apple, they missed Amazon. They didn't get it until later on, right? They made a lot of money off it later on, but the opportunity was already, the multiplier and exponential effect had already come and gone, but they're investing billions of dollars, so it's not easy for them, or it's not hard for them to make another $1 billion or whatever. But yeah, value investing principles does not always work in a growth industry, right? So I'm more of technicals and looking at what, like thinking like a market maker, right? And looking at what's going on behind the scenes and knowing that, HEXO and Tilray are building, they're building in Germany, they're building for the whole globe, they're building in the US, they've got alcohol business, they got all these different things. And then you get some companies in the US like MSOs. That's why I own a lot less MSOs until they uplist. Then I'll start to focus on MSOs. But we just don't know yet who the winners and losers are going to be in the US. We have way more idea who's going to be the winner and loser in Canada because we've got 4 years of legal blueprint that we can go off of. And they've got the global scale and network ready to go, right? Whereas US MSOs don't even have their own backyard figured out, right? Like Truly still expanding in Florida. We've got into Arizona through acquisitions. And then as they expand into more states, they're going to create more dilution, either through buying companies and paying with stock, or they're going to dip into their cash reserves and they're going to hurt those picture perfect balance sheets that we've been seeing, right? So again, they're going to run into a lot of the same problems that the LPs, but that's not what mainstream media will tell you. Mainstream media tries to paint you the picture that US MSOs are the best to own and LPs are garbage, right? There's going to be winners and losers both sides of the border. That's why I own both. I own operators in the US, I own operators in Canada, I own High Tide, the retailers of the world, I own ETFs. So the struggle is going to be, 80 to 90% of these MJ companies are going to go away or get acquired, but consolidation still needs to happen. I would say like another 80 to 90%. So if you can find 2 or 3 or even 5 companies of that 10% or whatever that are going to be here in 3 to 5 years or 20 years from now, you'll have generational wealth for many generations to come, right? For all your kids and your kids, right? So that's the thing, is finding the companies that are going to be here. And wouldn't you say that HEXO has the writing on the wall? Tilray, as they were quote unquote going bankrupt, which was BS in my opinion, because they could have sold their stake in trust with Molson Coors, they could have liquidated some assets, tons of things they could have did, and then Tilray comes in at rock bottom prices and says, hey, we'll throw you a lifeline. Here's $150 million, or it was like $180 million. What did Apple do to Microsoft? What did Microsoft do to Apple in 1997? They lent them $150 million in investment, right? And now Apple today is worth more than Microsoft, right? So it's like the winners are already picked, right? The long-term winners are already picked. And I think Tilray and HEXO have already been chosen. They're going to be here in 5 to 10 years from now. So that's why, but I think just like Apple Microsoft scenario, I think that HEXO, 100% pure MJ play. We know that we could see 10x to 100x to 200x, maybe even 1,000x gains in terms of growth in terms of market cap and the industry at large. Well, wouldn't you want to have 100% pure MJ plays? That's my logic, right? But yeah, I mean, he's good at what he does. He doesn't seem like when I hear him talk, it'd be great to get him on. We already said that we're going to try to get something done this year. He was busy last year and I was busy last year. So he said when our schedules permit, maybe we'll do it in the new year. But it'd be nice to have him on, kind of, debate a little bit. Also, just, bring together 2 different styles. Yeah, I have a lot of respect for him. He does a great job. He does great videos. He's very good at what he does, and he has a good, calm, collected demeanor to him as well. But yeah, he obviously doesn't like HEXO because the numbers don't look good, right? But if you look behind the scenes, look at what the market makers are doing. Look at why would Tilray be invested? Now there's a vested interest from Tilray, Redecan creators, Adam Arviv and Chaos Capital. You've got BMO. You've got if you look at the U.S. side, there's big corporations holding it like J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Morgan Stanley, right? So the Wall Street banks are backing Tilray and HEXO, and they're partnered, right? So to me, it's just so obvious. I mean, it has been a bad investment if you look at February 2021 to now, but again, Tilray's down 96% or 99% as well. So, and he likes Tilray. He thinks Tilray's the best thing since sliced bread, I'm pretty sure. So, and yeah, Tesla, being nothing more than a car company. That's false. They sell solar panels. They have solar panel options as well. And they're getting into like compact homes. Yeah, no, Tesla's way more than a car company. And that's just one of those. That's again, my point is Tesla was one of the chosen ones, right? The SEC sued them and gave them clarity. And then there was a bunch of laws passed in the Green New Deal. And when Biden took office, that helped Tesla. And you looked at Nancy Pelosi, her husband owned Tesla, all like insider trading basically to the max. And that isn't illegal. So watch for Congress being banned from owning stocks here in the next few months or this year, potentially to mark the top. And then we enter a Great Depression style slide in the broader market, probably the worst we've ever seen in the stock market, right? But again, Tesla was chosen, right? Even though mainstream media was telling you, no, don't buy Tesla. They're not profitable. They'll never make any money. They're going bankrupt. Even Elon Musk said himself, they were months away from bankruptcy. But then the government stepped in and they're like, oh, no. Nancy Pelosi has millions of dollars in this and her husband, right? We can't let members of Congress lose on their investments, right? So then they passed laws like it's borderline illegal, right? That's why I'm saying the game is so rigged. We can't beat them. You got to join them, right? And not listen to the mainstream media. I would just recommend, unless you're going on CNBC or BNN or whatever to do the contrarian move, basically 99% of shit I see on, excuse my French, on mainstream media or legacy media, I don't even look. I completely disregard it, right? I look at what they're doing, not what they say. JP Morgan, right? One of the investors in HEXO and Tilray told everybody in 2018, if you sell any crypto or if you do any crypto related things, you'll be fired. And then it was later proved that they were one of the biggest buyers of crypto during that bear market, right? So it's called talking your book. And I don't know how it's not illegal, but it's borderline just criminal. But yeah, I'll try to get an interview with him ASAP. He seems to know what he's talking about when it comes to the markets and valuations, but the fact that he can't see that Tesla isn't just a car company confuses me. Yeah, and I mean, you know, the rise in Tesla has been less attributed to value investing versus speculation, right? That's what I think he's getting at, is the valuation didn't justify, the price didn't justify that valuation. It's just the hype, right? But MJ's very hypey. Crypto's very hypey. So what do you think is going to go hypey next? Probably MJ, right? We've already had hypey in EV and tech. We already had hypey in crypto. Next, I think we're going to see crypto utility and altcoins go hypey, and then we're going to see MJ hypey, right? And then the valuations are going to get absurd to the upside, just like he says. Their valuations are absurd right now, price to book, or whatever metric you're using. Right now, they're insanely undervalued. And it gets so undervalued that it almost doesn't make any sense. It makes your brain hurt. But then it's going to get so overvalued on the upside on the next hype move that it's going to be like, okay, well, this is way overvalued, right? That's what these industries do, right? So that's why I think that's what I think he meant, John. Is ACB pure MJ company? Aurora, well, they're more medicinal now. So they've been pivoting away from their recreational. They've been focusing more on medical. They should benefit from Germany legalizing as well. In terms of recreational, but yeah, I think they are. I don't think they sell any other products other than MJ, but yeah, that could be a nice sleeping giant as well. I mean, I don't own any Aurora. I own it indirectly through an ETF. I'm okay with that few percentage exposure or whatever through the ETF, but it's not one I hold. They were struggling to even maintain top 20 market share in Canada, but again, they're pivoting away and they're going more medicinal, right? So we'll see. But in terms of their product offering, I'm pretty sure it's 100% yeah. Is High Tide a winner? I would say yes. I think I own a lot of High Tide, my biggest retailer that I own, and yeah, I'll be extremely bullish on High Tide for a long time. Could easily see that at $10 to $20 stock over the next few years. Very bullish on High Tide. Analyst price target is $12 on HEXO on High Tide. Yeah, $12. Yeah, exactly. So right around there, $15. No problem. All-time high is $13.29 on the Nasdaq. So yeah, easily that would just bring us up to all-time highs. So we got there before. Why can't we do it again? Right? We might even go double all-time highs, right? Which would put us at 100% roughly would put us at 27. 400x until all-time high. We'd need a 16 billion market cap, not impossible with global legalization. Yeah, exactly. So HEXO, I think it had a 5 billion valuation at one point. during the February 2021 run up. So that's only like, 3x from that, right? So if they hit $16 billion, like that's the opportunity here. That's why I say you don't need to invest hundreds of thousands of dollars in MJ to be wealthy. Look at the low there at 90 cents. If you put a buy order in at 90 cents on HEXO, and we go back to all-time highs, that's just over 500x. So for every $1,000 you bought at 90 cents, if it goes back to all-time high, that's $500,000 for every $1,000 you put in. So it doesn't. I don't understand why people are down 100 grand or 200 grand or like I said, my friend's down over $1 million. His dad's down on T-God, and I'm like, why would you ever, like, unless you had a net worth of 100 million, right, or like 50 million, and you got all this money you don't know what to do with. But I can guarantee you, he didn't have that much more money than he was down, right? It was probably 100% of his retirement money or his money that his net worth. Or there's some people that are down $100,000, $200,000. I know some people are down over $200,000 on Tilray. So it just goes to show that you don't need to put in hundreds of thousands of dollars. HEXO, like I said, and there's no shortage of those opportunities. CGC from its all-time high is down 96%, like I mentioned earlier. So if it goes back to all-time highs, that's a 27x move. So $1,000 into $27,000, not as much of an opportunity there. Tilray is down over 99% from its all-time high. So if you bought Tilray there at around 240s to all-time high, you're looking at 122x. So $1,000 into $122,000, right? So there's no shortage of that opportunity. But that's why I said, like I said, HEXO, pure MJ play, and from the lows there at 90 cents to the all-time highs, if we just go back to all-time highs, that's $1,000 and $500,000, right? That's the opportunity that we have here. And if we take a look at the all-time high to the low, it's down 99%, just like Tilray. CGC's down 96, right? So pick your poison. They've all been brutal, but that's not the company's fault. That's the Canadian government not changing the laws and regulations. They just changed the limit on drinks, right? And they still have that 30-gram limit on orders in one purchase. The U.S. still hasn't legalized. I was saying to my dad, he's like, "How was that, MJ? My account's down quite a bit." But again, he only put in I think he put in $20,000, right? Way less than 10% of his net worth. He could care less if that went to zero. And he understood that he probably wasn't going to buy the bottom. And if he holds till U.S. legalizes, I said, you know what? It'd be a good time for you to sell, Dad. I said, when the first MJ commercial appears on the Super Bowl. So that's just what happened with crypto this year. And then look what happened to crypto after the Super Bowl. Pew! Like 90% correction, right? So if anybody's listening, if you're wondering when you should sell your MJ long term, well, maybe the first Super Bowl ad for MJ is when you want to lock in that profit. Plus, those companies would need much higher, larger market caps to see all-time high. Yeah, exactly, right? So the opportunity is massive with a lot of these names. But sitting at 127 after hours here on HEXO. But gonna wrap it up. It's been fun. Thanks for joining us on the live stream, everybody. Appreciate it. As always, appreciate all of the contributions in the chat. And we made it. Like I said, there was no shortage of doom and gloom articles and just trolls and haters online. But goes to show you that this is how the game is rigged, right? They play on emotions, and then, like I said, how many people thought that we were going to end? I bet you a lot more people thought we were going to close closer to $1 today after yesterday's price being at, what did we close at yesterday? We closed at 112. I bet you people thought we were probably going to see closer to $1 today and get scared, right? They were going to scare people. But again, this is why it pays to be more technical, right? That MJ Investing newsletter guy, he says that technical analysis is silly, quote unquote. Pretty sure that's the word he used. But if you don't know how to use the tools that are given to you, of course you think they don't work, right? If I'm a carpenter and if I'm a mechanic and I order this brand new tool and I didn't calibrate it, or I didn't read the instruction manual, or do a certification that you even need, maybe you need to do a 6-hour certification before you're even deemed fit to use it. Well, you're probably not going to know how to use it. And then if you start using it and you break your hand or you cut your hand off, your finger off, you're like, oh, this tool sucks. It doesn't work. This is silly, right? Of course. But if you know how to use it, and again, people think technical analysis is the end all be all. It's not. It's just a probability factor. It's a way to use different indicators and probabilities to your advantage. And if you thought HEXO was in trouble over the last couple of days, it would have appeared that way, but you would have known that, oh, we hadn't consolidated from the low there in about 6 days. So we know that we're due for daily consolidation. That's why I told everybody in the Power Group private community. And then I said, if we hold a 0.382 fib or 107 there at the low, it's a daily bull flag. So not only that, we could potentially confirm a daily uptrend, and we confirmed the bull flag and the daily uptrend today. And we closed at the high of the day, and the daily bull flag's targeting 142. So if you're somebody who, like I said, maybe you don't know technical analysis, and there's tons of people who don't, who join the Power Group private community, and they're learning from me. I get people every day saying, I learned so much from you from a technical perspective, and it just helps having that second pair of eyes or having that extra reassurance that, you know, even if you don't understand it 100%, you can say, oh, well, Rod's saying that this is a daily bull flag, an uptrend, and it's targeting 142, and what he's saying makes sense, and I'm seeing it all, and then it happens, right? And it's like, whoa, how the hell did he know? Well, I didn't know. It's just the probabilities. It was saying 60% this was going to happen, 40% chance for this was going to happen, right? That's all it is. It's having an edge, right? And it doesn't mean it's always going to work out that way, right? We may not even target 142. Maybe we come down and we lose the daily uptrend and we go to a new lower low. Who knows, right? A lot of things can happen. But I would say right now, most of it, the worst is behind us. All right, going to end it there. Once again, thanks for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rob with Power Group. If you could smash the like on your way out, I would appreciate it. Share the video with anybody that might find value. And once again, congratulations to all you investors who stayed the course, didn't listen to mainstream media FUD, and all the haters out there. Greener days ahead, no pun intended, not just for HEXO, but the entire MJ space, and grateful to be here in good health and experiencing it with you all. It'll only ever happen once, so be grateful, be humble. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.